In a world where people react quickly, defending, arguing, exploding, the real strength belongs to the one who stays calm, who doesn't take the bait, who can watch the storm without becoming part of it. The Buddha once said, "You will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger." Let that settle, because the moment you react, you give your power away. But when you master the mind, when you train yourself to respond with silence instead of rage, no one can control you, not with words, not with chaos, not with fear. This is the essence of Buddhist wisdom, to rise so far above the noise that nothing can touch your peace. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 powerful lessons that will train your mind to do exactly that. First, if you're tired of being triggered, if you want to become untouchable, unshakable, and deeply calm, then listen closely, because once you understand this, you'll never react the same way again. 1. Detachment is the key to inner power. In this world, most people live like leaves in the wind, tossed around by opinions, emotions, and circumstances they cannot control. One harsh word from someone and their entire mood collapses. One small failure, and they begin to question their worth. This happens because they are attached to approval, success, comfort, reputation, and outcomes. Buddhism refers to this as upadana, which means clinging or grasping. It's this mental and emotional clinging that becomes the root of suffering. The Buddha taught that suffering doesn't come from what happens to you, but from how tightly you cling to what you want to happen. You cling to being liked, to being right, to being in control, and every time life does not meet your expectations, your peace is shattered. Why? Because your happiness was never truly yours. It was rented out to external things. But here's the shift. When you begin to practice detachment, not from love or compassion, but from expectations and control, something remarkable happens. You realize that nothing outside of you has the power to disturb your inner stillness unless you give it that power. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care deeply, but with wisdom. You show up with love. You act with intention. But you no longer tie your identity to the result. Whether someone praises you or insults you, it doesn't move you. Whether you win or lose, it doesn't define you. Your center remains still. This is not coldness, this is clarity. Because when you stop reacting emotionally to everything, you create space. And in that space, peace grows. When you truly detach, you become like a tree in a storm, rooted, calm, and unshaken. If someone insults you, you don't need to respond. You smile because you understand. Their words are a reflection of them, not you. If someone praises you, you smile the same way, because you know your value was never based on what anyone thought in the first place. This is inner power. The person who no longer depends on anything external to feel okay becomes untouchable. You don't react. You don't resist. You observe. You breathe. You let go. And in that letting go, you stop being controlled by the world and start mastering yourself. That's when true peace begins. And from that peace, unshakable power rises. 2. Observe. Don't absorb. One of the greatest skills Buddhism teaches is the art of watching without reacting. Life constantly throws emotions, words, and energies at you, some pleasant, many unpleasant. People project their pain, their insecurities, their anger. Situations arise that seem unfair or frustrating. And in those moments, most people absorb everything. They carry it in their chest, let it swirl in their minds, and soon they become what they were reacting to. They get angry because someone else was angry. They feel heavy because someone else dumped their negativity on them. But here's the truth. You don't have to absorb the energy around you. You can observe it and let it pass. Buddhist mindfulness practice, especially through Vipassana meditation, trains your mind to become like a still lake. No matter what drops into it, a stone, a leaf, a storm. It creates ripples, yes, but it always returns to stillness. In the same way, your mind can witness what's happening without becoming what's happening. When someone speaks with anger, observe the anger, but don't catch it. See it for what it is, a temporary wave passing through their own suffering. When someone criticizes you unfairly, notice how it affects your body and mind, but don't become that reaction. Breathe, watch, let it rise and let it fall. You are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them, the silent observer that remains steady no matter how loud the mind becomes. This awareness gives you freedom, because once you realize that every feeling, every thought, every judgment is just a passing cloud, you stop chasing them, you stop fearing them, you stop letting them control your behavior. Think of it like this. If someone hands you a burning coal, but you don't grab it, you don't get burned. But if you grab it and hold on to it, now you suffer. That's what absorbing others' negativity does to you. It turns you into a mirror for their pain. But when you observe instead of absorb, you create emotional distance. You stay grounded, you stay light, and no matter how chaotic the world becomes, you are no longer ruled by it. This is not weakness, this is mastery, because the most powerful person is not the one who controls others, it's the one who has learned to control themselves. So next time the world throws something at you, pause, don't react, watch it, breathe through it, let it pass. You are not here to carry everyone's energy, you are here to stand in your own. 3. The power is always in the pause. In every difficult moment, before the explosion, before the regret, before the storm, there's a tiny space, a brief moment between what happens to you and how you respond. That moment is small. Most people miss it, but that moment is everything. The Buddha understood this deeply. He taught that we are not prisoners of what happens. We become prisoners of our automatic reactions. And those reactions are fast. Someone insults you and the ego wants to snap back. Someone cuts you off in traffic and anger surges like a fire. A challenge appears and fear grips you instantly. But here's the truth. You are not that first emotion. You are not the knee-jerk reaction. You are the one who can pause and choose. That pause is power. That pause is freedom. In that brief moment, if you train yourself, you can take a breath, come back to your center, and ask, what is the wise response here? Not the emotional one, not the habitual one, but the conscious one. Most suffering begins because we react blindly. We say words we don't mean. We take actions we later regret. And all of it happens because we let emotions hijack the moment. But when you insert a pause, just a breath, a heartbeat of stillness, you break the pattern. You interrupt the storm before it floods your mind. You step out of your conditioned habits and into awareness. Buddhist practice trains this through meditation. You sit, you watch the breath. A thought comes, a sensation arises. But you don't act, you pause. This rewires your brain. It teaches you to feel without reacting, to notice without being controlled. The more you practice this, the stronger your pause becomes. You go from instantly reacting to instantly observing. You learn to speak not to hurt, but to heal. You learn to act not out of impulse, but from grounded clarity. And over time, you realize the pause didn't just prevent damage. It created space for wisdom. You didn't just avoid reacting. You rose above the chaos. That's real strength. Not how fast you react, but how deeply you can pause. Because in that pause, you gain your power back. You reclaim your inner space. And from that stillness, you move with intention, not emotion. So next time something shakes you, remember, you don't have to react. You can pause, you can breathe, and in that breath, you become free. 4. Let the fire burn out on its own. When someone throws anger at you, the natural instinct is to throw it back. You feel the heat rising in your chest, your thoughts race, and suddenly you're in a battle of emotions, trying to prove, defend, or destroy. But Buddhism offers a radical and liberating truth. You don't have to fuel the fire, you can let it burn out on its own. The Buddha taught that hatred is never ended by hatred. Not once in human history has more anger healed another's anger. Only non-hatred, only understanding and stillness can bring peace. When someone directs negativity towards you, they are handing you a torch. If you take it, the fire spreads. But if you refuse to pick it up, it dies. That's what inner mastery looks like. It's not about being passive or weak. It's about knowing that engaging in every argument, defending yourself against every insult, and reacting to every provocation drains your peace and strengthens your ego. The ego wants to fight, but the soul wants to stay free. Imagine this. Someone comes to you full of rage. They scream, they insult, but you remain calm. You don't argue, you don't defend. You simply let them speak. And when they're done, you choose silence. No reaction, no emotional response, just presence. At first, it may confuse them. Then it disarms them, because they realize something they never expected. They can no longer control you. Your refusal to respond is not weakness. It's a higher form of power. Because when you don't return anger with anger, you don't carry it in your heart. You stay light. You stay free. Think of it like this. If someone hands you a heavy rock and you refuse to carry it, who holds the burden? They do. That's exactly what happens with emotional fire. If you don't pick it up, it stays with them and slowly extinguishes on its own. Letting the fire burn out also protects your mind. Every reaction you make strengthens a habit in the brain. If you keep responding to negativity with more negativity, you train yourself to be reactive, angry, and unstable. But if you consistently choose calmness and space, you rewire your mind for peace, for wisdom, for control. You become like a stone temple in the middle of a storm. No matter how hard the wind blows, it cannot be moved. That's who you're becoming. A person whose peace can't be disturbed because you've learned that your energy is sacred and you refuse to waste it on meaningless fires. So next time someone tries to pull you into their drama, ask yourself, is it worth my peace? Do I need to light my own soul on fire just to win this moment? The answer is no. Stay quiet, stay centered. Let their fire burn out while you remain untouched by the flames, because your peace is not something they can take. It's something you protect with your silence, your awareness, and your refusal to be moved. 5. Silence is the language of the wise. In a world where noise is constant, opinions are loud, and everyone seems to be in a race to be heard, silence has become rare and powerful. Buddhism teaches us that silence is not simply the absence of words. It is the presence of deep awareness. It is the space where wisdom lives. In the Dhammapada, it is written, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." And sometimes, even that one word is unnecessary. The person who has mastered silence doesn't need to explain themselves. They don't need to fight for attention or prove their worth or outtalk anyone. They speak when it is necessary. They stay silent when it is wise. And when they do speak, their words carry weight because they are rooted in clarity, not reaction. You see, when you speak from a place of ego, you often say things that bring regret. You say too much. You defend too hard. You argue too long. You lose your peace just to win an argument that, in the end, didn't matter. But when you begin to cultivate inner silence, you realize that not every action deserves a response. Not every opinion needs a reaction. Not every insult needs to be answered. This doesn't mean you allow people to walk over you. It means you have become so secure within yourself that you no longer feel the need to prove anything. You realize that your worth is not found in how loud your voice is, but in how steady your spirit remains. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. It is the ability to stay grounded when provoked. It is the decision to not let external chaos stir your internal peace. When someone attacks you with words, you are faced with two choices. You can react, defend, and fire back, playing the same game of ego. Or you can remain silent, not out of fear, but out of deep understanding, because you know their words are a reflection of them, not you. And here is where silence becomes your armor. Imagine someone shouting at you, trying to provoke you, expecting you to break. But you say nothing. You look at them not with hate, not with arrogance, but with complete stillness. That stillness speaks louder than any words could. It says, I do not fear you, I do not need your validation, and I will not give you the power to control my state of mind. That is power. That is spiritual maturity, and that is the language of the wise. The Buddha himself was a master of silence. He would sit quietly when questioned by those who wanted to trap him with words. He knew engaging with ignorance often fuels it. Silence, on the other hand, often dissolves it. When you choose silence over reaction, you do three things. You protect your energy. Words are powerful. Engaging in constant debates and emotional reactions drains your mental energy. When you stay silent, you save that energy for what truly matters: your inner growth, your peace, your purpose. You gain clarity. In silence, you can observe clearly. You can see the situation for what it really is. You can notice your own emotional response before it explodes. And when you do choose to speak, your words come from wisdom, not from wounds. You break the pattern. Most people expect a reaction. They thrive on conflict. Your silence short-circuits their control. It leaves them confused, powerless. They cannot play with someone who refuses to enter the game. This is why monks, sages, and wise masters throughout history have embraced silence, not just as a practice, but as a way of life. Because silence is healing, silence is discipline, silence is strength in its purest form. And here's something powerful. Silence isn't only about not speaking to others. It's about learning to be silent with yourself. How often do we drown in mental noise, judging ourselves, worrying, reliving the past, fearing the future? True silence is when your thoughts no longer control you, when your mind becomes still like a calm lake, and your awareness simply observes without fear, without craving, without noise. That kind of silence is not just powerful, it's transformational. So if you truly want to become untriggerable, if you want to live from a place of deep peace, begin with this practice. Don't rush to speak. Don't respond out of impulse. Breathe, pause, and ask yourself, is this silence more powerful than anything I could say right now? Most of the time it is, because silence doesn't mean nothing is happening. Silence means everything is happening internally. It's in that silence that you grow. It's in that silence that you heal. And it's in that silence that you discover the power you've always had, but were too distracted to notice. At the heart of Buddhist wisdom lies a truth that many struggle to face. Suffering is not caused by what happens to us, but by how we resist what happens. We suffer not because life is difficult, but because we believe it shouldn't be. We resist the pain, the loss, the discomfort, the unfairness. And in that resistance, we create a storm inside ourselves. The Buddha taught that all suffering arises from craving, from wanting reality to be something other than it is. We crave certainty in an uncertain world. We crave comfort in a world that constantly shifts. We crave control in a universe that owes us none. But life will not always go according to your plan. People will hurt you. Dreams will break. Health will fade. Loved ones will leave. And no amount of control, worry, or resistance will change that. That's why acceptance isn't weakness. Acceptance is liberation. Now let's be clear. Acceptance does not mean you like what's happening. It doesn't mean you approve of injustice, betrayal, or failure. It means you stop fighting reality with your mind. You let go of the mental war that keeps you stuck, bitter and exhausted. When something painful happens, your first instinct might be to say, "This shouldn't be happening." But that thought alone doubles your suffering. You feel the pain of the event and the pain of resistance. Acceptance, on the other hand, is saying, "This is what is. I don't have to love it, but I don't have to fight it either." Imagine you're caught in the rain with no umbrella. You can scream at the sky, curse the clouds, and get angry about being wet. Or you can breathe, feel the raindrops, and simply walk. Either way, you're getting wet. But only one path brings peace. This is what Buddhist acceptance looks like. It's an internal surrender to the truth of the moment, not because you're giving up, but because you're waking up. You're waking up to the reality that resisting the present moment only deepens your suffering. You're waking up to the understanding that peace doesn't come from changing what is, but from being at peace with what is. This doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you stop arguing with life as it unfolds. You do what you can. You change what is within your control, but you no longer poison your soul with rejection of what's beyond it. Acceptance also frees you from people's behavior. You can't control how others act. People may disrespect you, misunderstand you, or mistreat you. You could spend your life trying to fix them, or you could accept who they are and set clear boundaries from a place of peace, not rage. When you accept others as they are, not in resignation, but in recognition, you take back your emotional power. You stop needing them to behave a certain way to be okay. You stop being controlled by their actions and instead live from a place of inner stability. Even with yourself, acceptance is the first step to transformation. You can't change what you haven't accepted. You can't heal from something you're still denying. Accept your flaws, your mistakes, your shadows, not because you want to stay there, but because only from full awareness can you begin to evolve. And here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you stop resisting your pain, it begins to soften. The moment you stop running from your fear, it begins to lose its grip. The moment you say, "This is how it is right now," you create space for peace to enter. Acceptance isn't the end, it's the beginning. It's the moment you stop forcing and begin to flow. You stop being trapped by outcomes and start becoming the keeper of your inner world. Let's go a little deeper. When you accept life as it is, you align yourself with reality. And in that alignment, things start to change, not because you push them, but because you stop blocking them with resistance. Peace, clarity, and strength arise on their own. You are no longer fighting against life. You move with it, adjusting with ease, guided by wisdom. This doesn't mean life becomes easier. It means you become steadier. You are no longer shaken by every change, every loss, every moment of discomfort. Because you stop expecting the world to act a certain way. You stop needing each moment to be perfect in order to feel peace. So when something painful happens, instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What now?" Instead of sinking into resistance, rise into awareness. Breathe, feel, let it be. You don't have to like it, you don't have to stay in it, but you don't have to fight it either. Acceptance is the doorway to freedom. It doesn't remove the challenge, but it softens the suffering around it. It opens your heart to clarity and shows you the next step without resistance clouding your mind. And when you fully accept what is, openly, without judgment, you become the calm within the storm. You stop living as a victim of circumstances. You stop being ruled by fear. You begin to move through life with the quiet confidence of someone who knows, I can face whatever comes because I no longer need to fight it. That is real peace, and that peace is available to you right now. Not when life becomes easier, but when you stop resisting it. 7. The compound effect of focused energy and how it creates lasting change in your life. In the Buddha's teachings, there is a principle that often goes unnoticed, yet it quietly guides the transformation of every devoted practitioner. It is the principle of focused attention, where small, steady actions of the mind, repeated over time, create deep and lasting change. In Buddhism, this is closely connected to the idea of bhavana, the cultivation of the mind through consistent practice. Simply put, it means this: where you place your attention, your life begins to move. When that attention is steady, calm and intentional, even the smallest inner efforts grow powerful over time. But here is where many people struggle. They scatter their energy in all directions. They react to every comment, get pulled by every notification, and ride every emotional wave. Their attention jumps from past regrets to future worries, from social media to inner noise, from goals to doubt, from calm to chaos within minutes. This scattered focus is not only tiring, it has no power. It spreads your energy thin, it keeps your mind reactive, it leaves your spirit unsettled. Buddhism teaches a different way. It says, gather your energy, bring your attention back to this moment, train it, refine it, focus it like a beam of light, and then guide that focus toward growth, peace, and clarity. This is not something you do once. It is something you practice every day, with every breath, with every reaction you choose not to follow, with every negative thought you notice instead of obey, with every moment of stillness in the middle of noise. And over time, something quiet and beautiful begins to happen. You start to change from the inside out, not through force, but through cultivation. Let's look at this more closely. Imagine a single drop of water falling on the same stone each day. One drop seems harmless, but drop by drop, the stone slowly changes shape. Your mind works the same way. Each time you return to awareness, you shape it. Each time you choose presence instead of reaction, you strengthen inner discipline. Each time you choose silence over anger, you build quiet strength. These small shifts may feel minor in the moment, but over time they add up. They create lasting change that becomes part of who you are, not because you pushed hard, but because you practiced with care. This is what creates real change, not sudden bursts of motivation, not bold promises, but steady attention, quiet discipline, and daily mindfulness. And here is the quiet miracle. The more you bring your energy inward, the more peace you feel outward. The more grounded you become, the less the world can shake you. And the more present you are, the more life starts to move in harmony with your spirit. This isn't about being perfect, it's about alignment. You begin to live in tune with what matters most: your values, your inner truth, your path. Distractions lose their pull. Triggers lose their hold. And peace is no longer something you chase. It becomes something you live. Some may ask, what if I've failed before? What if my focus slips? What if I lose control at times? The answer is simple. Begin again. Begin again and again and again. That is the way of practice. Even monks, even masters have wandered in thought, stumbled in emotion, and fallen back into old habits. But they returned. They brought their attention back. And with each return, they grew stronger. You don't need to be perfect to change your life. You only need the willingness to return to your breath, to your center, to your practice. This kind of focus is gentle, not forceful. It isn't about pushing or controlling. It's about remembering again and again what truly matters, and letting your actions, words, and thoughts slowly line up with that truth. Over time, your nervous system begins to settle. Your reactions soften, your breathing deepens, your presence becomes noticeable, not just to you, but to others around you. You become someone whose calm steadies others, whose quiet carries more weight than noise, whose energy isn't easily shaken, not because life stops being challenging, but because you've trained yourself, moment by moment, choice by choice, to stay grounded. This is the compound effect of focused energy, and this is what Buddhism points to. You don't need to conquer the world. You only need to fully meet this moment with awareness and intention, and then meet the next one. One breath at a time, one pause at a time, one mindful choice at a time. When you do, your life begins to change, not suddenly, but deeply, steadily, and beautifully. You come to see that the goal isn't to control the world. The goal is to know yourself. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to react to every insult. You don't need to be understood by everyone or approved by anyone. Because real peace, the kind nothing can disturb, doesn't come from changing the outside. It comes from changing within. Through detachment, you release what once weighed you down. Through observation, you learn to see clearly without being carried by every wave. Through the pause, you take back your power before emotions take over. Through non-reaction, you let fires fade instead of feeding them. Through silence, you rise above noise and become a quiet, steady presence. Through acceptance, you stop fighting reality and begin moving with it. And through focused energy, you slowly and quietly reshape your life from the inside out. This is not a sudden change, it is a daily practice, a moment-by-moment return to stillness. And the longer you walk this path, the more grounded you become. Life may still challenge you, people may still try to provoke you, but you will no longer be controlled by it. You will observe, you will understand, and you will remain steady. That is true freedom. That is real strength. So the next time life tries to pull you off balance, remember this. You are the mountain. You are the silence. You are the space between stimulus and response. And in that space, nothing can disturb you.